Hello guys, how you doing? Henry here, back with another video. Man, right now I'm on my way to Hyde Park in Sandton, Johannesburg to interview a tech entrepreneur, Mushambi Mutuma. Man, he's been in the game for 12 years, he's been in business for 12 years, he's an author, he's also a speaker. And man, I know he's got a lot to actually teach us and we've got a lot to learn from him. So man, you guys, your support has been outstanding. I started this channel just to inspire you to reach your personal and career goals. And your response has been phenomenal. So we are now basically at 150 subscribers, man. Let's get to 200, man, before the end of this month of November. Man, I know it's possible with your guys' support. If you are back on this channel, thank you for your support. If your first time, welcome to you, man. Subscribe and let's grow together. Cool stuff, guys. Let's get into the video. So bro, one thing for sure, I just want to tell you this, my dream has always been to be an author, right? And a speaker and a business person. And I remember, my sister one day, after varsity, I think a year after varsity, she was having a conversation about my career.
Yeah.
And I was like, she's like, so what do you want to be? And I was like, I want to be an author, I want to be a speaker. And she was like, who's gonna listen to you?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Man, it was just a year out of varsity, But man, yeah.
But yet here we are on your platform, man.
Okay, here we are, like 10 years later, right? 10 years later.
You gotta trust the grind.
Yeah, you have to trust the grind. So man, thank you for coming through, bro.
No, it's an absolute pleasure, man. Thank you for having me.
Awesome, man. Awesome, man. Yeah, man. So just starting off, man, how's been your journey like, man, in terms of, getting here, entrepreneurship, 12 years later. And I know, you're a tech entrepreneur. And I know, just reading your book, this awesome book here, Tech Adjacent, we're going to go into it. Man, I had to look for this book, man, all over town. I think I had to get in the exclusive books. There was one left in Morningside or something,
Nice.
But yeah, man, how did we get here, bro?
Yeah, man. I think I'm originally from Zim. My mother's from the Eastern Cape. My dad is from Zim.
Oh, nice.
I spent a lot of years living in the U.S.
Okay.
I think that's probably where my entrepreneur journey started. My first business wasn't 12 years ago. It was when I was probably 12.
Oh, wow.
Just hustling, selling sweets, taking care of people's yards and things like that. But I think I've always kind of had the desire to build something myself. And yeah, man, that's kind of where we are. So I'd say probably about 12 years ago, I started a primary business, Altivex, which is a digital agency and lab. And that business, specialized in kind of building apps, building digital products, building large-scale e-commerce products. And then right now I've transitioned into a new role here at Black Powder, which is kind of a full-service agency, strong digital undercurrents, and that's really my main goal, is to further digitize this business. But yeah, man, I think I've always just been passionate about helping people level up, build their brands, build the technology that helps them build their brands. Yeah, man, it's been lots of ups and downs, but thankfully more ups as of late.
Oh, awesome, man.
Yeah,
Awesome, man.
yeah.
So did you always know, this, how did you sort of identify, this business opportunity?
Yeah, for
right?
sure.
And I think that's one thing many people struggle with, that they've got a desire to run a business. But, what should be in place? I know, you like to get things going. But what sort of, how do you discover opportunities?
I think desire is one thing. A lot of people have desire. There's a guy sitting at a bar right now. He's like, Facebook was my idea. And he's having a few too many. So desire, I think, is just one element. I think it's action, man. And I think people wait to have it all figured out and have all the pieces, all the money, all the plans. And I think that's nonsense. There's no way that you can figure out all the pieces. Most of this process is taught through the process. So what I really, for me, when I first started Altivex as a business, is I had 5 friends, or 4 friends at the time that were creatives, that were in the space, in the industry, and I saw that they were kind of undervalued, underpaid, and I thought, I can manage these guys. I think I can sell. And then we started around my coffee table in my apartment.
Oh, wow.
And that's how we started. And now, yeah, 11, 12 years later, here we are. and many transitions since then. So I think for me, the main emphasis is that you just have to start.
Oh, wow.
You're not going to ever have all the pieces. I didn't know anything about advertising. I didn't know anything about digital media or technology in depth in terms of studying it. I studied politics.
Oh, wow.
But I've been able to transition to and be able to lead teams that do that, and have done so in really massive scale projects and some awards and so forth. So I think it's really not about like having all the pieces. I think you can build the pieces as you go. But I think it's rooted in passion first and foremost.
It's rooted in passion, right?
Yeah,
I mean, it's entrepreneurs who are very passionate. I think
Definitely.
sometimes, obviously, that's the name of the game. You need to be, passionate. You need to be able to take risks, and just stand by what you believe in. But where's the balance, though? Between, because as entrepreneurs, we can take a lot of hurt, right? Pain in terms of something not working.
For sure.
But where do you draw the line and say that,
Yeah, man. I think unfortunately there isn't, right? Balance. I don't know if it really exists. I think there's seasons. I think there's seasons where you can do things really well and make commitment to family and to life and to friends, and then there's other seasons where you just have to kind of do the work. I mean, when we're doing this right now, is that we're going into a season where the year is ending, right?
Yeah.
We've got about 5 weeks left of the year, and closing out really strong is super important, right? Financially important and so forth. So you got to balance. Maybe earlier in the year, maybe other times you would relax a little bit more. But I think this focus is important now. But I think to speak to your earlier point, grit and perseverance is necessary. And the ability to take a beating is always going to be there.
Yeah.
Whether you get 1,000 rand, 100,000 rand, 1,000,000 rand, 10 million rand, Jeff Bezos still feels it, right?
Yeah.
He still has to get out of bed and make those decisions and have some off days, right? So it's not about like hitting a certain level of success where you don't feel that, where there's no more challenges. I think the challenges just get a little bit bigger, and you get better at dealing with them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, man. That's awesome, man. Just expanding your capacity, right?
That's it, man.
You need to expand your capacity to deal with issues.
Yeah, and each level you hit requires a different version of yourself, right? So the challenges I face right now are very specific to the years I've been in business, versus if I got these challenges at year one, I wouldn't know what to do.
Yeah.
But now I'm in position to kind of make those decisions, and I have the experience, and I've put in the work and seen the dirt in order to kind of maybe be able to do that. But I think it's just about life. It's about professionalism. It's about, even if you're not an entrepreneur, I think even if you're just a professional, I think each stage of your career, each stage of your promotion and your job titles, they require that level up, right?
No, definitely, man. Because I know you talk about, everyone now, we want to be entrepreneurs.
Yeah,
right?
for
I
sure.
mean,
Everybody wants to be a CEO,
to be a
but
CEO.
nobody wants to be a CEO.
Yeah, but nobody wants to do it. Yeah, but I mean, you talk about, intrapreneurship versus entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
And saying that, maybe, we don't need more entrepreneurs. Maybe people need to, level up, where they are,
Definitely, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I think, there's two things about me. I don't like blood, and I don't like numbers.
Oh, wow.
Right? And nobody's telling me to be a doctor, and nobody's telling me to be an engineer. So I don't think that every individual on earth is meant to be an entrepreneur. And it's not a classism thing or an elitism thing. It's just a propensity. I wouldn't make a good doctor at all, right? Yeah. And no one's like, that's what you must do to save the economy. You must become a doctor. And it's very sought after. It's a needed role, maybe even more than entrepreneurship, right?
Yeah.
But no one is making those statements. So I think we have to understand that not everyone is necessarily built for this. If I told a room full of people, for the next 10 years, you're not going to earn very much money, right? Or you're not going to earn any money at all.
Wow.
A lot of people wouldn't really sign up for that.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of people would be like, nah, I'm good. I'll stay at my job. So I think there's a certain risk appetite that some of us have that a lot of people don't have. Sometimes in my life, I've wished I had that risk appetite where I was like, you know what, let me think about this. But I don't. I just jump right in, right? And sometimes it's paid off and sometimes it hasn't.
Wow, man, that's amazing, man. Guys, if you're getting any value out of this video, man, hit that like button, share this video right now. And man, if you haven't yet subscribed to this channel, man, subscribe and let's grow together. Man, so I mean, now, if you're talking about, you know, people, I mean, we've touched some, you know, a bit about it, but who would be
Yeah.
entrepreneurs
Yes.
or entrepreneurs? I mean, after this, we're now in a new sort of, they call it a new normal.
Yeah,
I
for
mean,
sure.
things are no longer the same. You know,
Definitely.
things are definitely different.
Definitely.
You know, I mean, what sort of advice would you give to sort of someone, you know, thinking about starting up, you know, this journey called entrepreneurship, or someone who's been in 2 or 3 years now?
Yeah, for sure.
You know, what sort of advice would you sort of give them? You know?
That's a good question, man. So I think for me, man, I think people should be in the business of solving problems.
Yeah.
A lot of times people are waiting like, what's the perfect service that I should, you know, provide? What's the perfect thing I should sell? Nobody cares. You know, for instance, here, nobody needs another ad agency, right? If we stopped operating, sure, some lives would be affected, and some people would be quite sad, myself included. But the world would continue to go on.
Yeah.
If you're just limited by what you do, and how you do it, it's a little bit of a limited reality. I
Yeah.
mean, Simon Sinek talks about starting with the why, right? So, and I think for me, the best entrepreneurs, the best businesses are businesses that constantly solve problems.
Okay.
Because if you constantly are able to solve a problem and your clients are like, I can trust these guys, I can go to these guys when I need something, they'll figure it out, you will be in business forever.
Yeah.
Recession, COVID, not, you will get a phone call. And thankfully, I mean, even here, a lot of agencies, a lot of marketing companies shut down during this time period. This business was able to grow and scale.
Wow.
Because and being the privilege of hiring people. You know, and that's a nice position to kind of be in. But I think it's rooted in the ability to kind of solve problems, the ability to kind of develop and nurture a network and take care of people. And what I mean by that, I mean is like really investing in relationships.
Yeah.
And when you're able to do that, it's easier to then kind of nurture that and call in those favors when things are tough. And I think that's what we've been able to achieve here.
Oh, awesome, man. That's
Yeah,
awesome, man.
yeah.
And in terms of relationships, you know,
Yeah.
how do you manage relationships? You know?
Yeah.
So obviously you've got to have seen like a team, it's a
Yeah.
bigger team.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, how do you do that?
I mean, it's something that you learn over time. You learn how to manage people. You know, learn how to manage personalities.
Yes.
And different people need different things, right? You know, sometimes the people that are the most talented, and I don't need to check their stuff. They come to me and like, can you look at this?
Yeah.
And then sometimes the people where you think that maybe you should share are the most confident. And I think, you know, it depends. And then when you're in an environment, especially a creative environment, you've got competing energies, competing interests, competing just passions. And I think good managers are people that are good at being able to adjust depending on the person.
Oh,
Every
wow.
single one of the people here, you have to speak to differently. There isn't one way we speak to each other, right? So you kind of have to adapt and yeah, not be like stonewalled.
Oh, wow.
And I've learned that over time. That's not probably something I started with. I think when I first started out, I was like, no, everyone has to do it like this and this way and my way. But you learn over time that people have different needs, and if I as a manager or the lead in a business, I need to be able to bring the best out of them.
Okay.
Right? And that requires treating them in different ways. And it's like an athlete, right? Every athlete is different. And some guys need this kind of music to focus in on the game. Some guys need to go be by themselves to focus on the game. Some guys need to go work out and sweat a little bit. Everyone has something different. And the best coaches are the ones that are able to see that and nurture that and develop it.
Wow, man, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. Just being able to draw out the best in people. And I think at the end of the day, you know, it's about you. And I had a former boss we used to say that, you know, it's about management. So you can't like complain about the same person over and over again. It says no, it boils down to management.
But and I think also problem solving, like I spoke about before, is, you know, oftentimes when I speak to the team, I say if you're going to come to it with a problem, you have to also come with a solution, and we'll talk through it.
Yeah.
But if you don't have the solution, then there's nothing to talk about because you're an employee, you're employed, you're talented, you've got some value. So tell me what you want to do or what you think we should do, and then we'll problem solve that together. Versus, hey, tell me what I must do.
It's not going to work.
Yeah, because then people don't grow. And for me, I'd like if people move away from this business and go to another role, that they go there better and stronger and more equipped. They won't do that if they don't develop.
Oh wow, man!
Yeah.
I mean, that's awesome, man. You guys, you heard it, man. Wherever you are, bring a solution. It doesn't. At least it doesn't have to be the right answer or the right solution, but at least people know you're trying, right?
Exactly.
Like you're actually trying to bring something to the table. So yeah, man. I mean, let's talk like technology, right?
Yeah.
Tech adjacent,
Yeah.
man. Technology. Being in Africa, for example, or maybe myself, just as a small business owner, someone starting up,
Right.
and someone who's like, legally qualified.
Yeah.
How do I deal with technology?
Yeah.
If let's say someone is just, making shoes or whatever it is.
Yeah, for sure.
How do we incorporate this, seemingly big word, right? Technology,
No,
so that it can help us in our business.
For sure, man. I think it's a good question, man, and I think it's actually key to why I wrote the book. For me, technology is just a tool, right? It's a tool that human beings use to evolve.
Yeah.
The pen in your pocket is a technology, right?
Yes.
It doesn't have to be the device that you're watching this on, and some high-tech thing. Anything that you use to make life a little bit better or easier is technology.
Yeah.
So I think the very first thing is that we shouldn't be intimidated by it. It's simple, right? Everything around us is tech,
Yes.
right? And then if you understand that everything around us is it, then you understand that how we use it is just to make life easier, better, different. That's it, right? We're recording this using technology because it's easier. It's cheaper than huge scale production equipment, right?
Yes.
People are accessing this via social media. It's a little bit different. It's also cheaper to access, cheaper to watch. It's not costing anybody really anything except a little bit of data, right, to be able to partake in this content. So technology for you, as a content creator, right, is the only way you get your voice out there and you get scale and reach without spending millions of rands, right? In your legal practice, technology is how you manage your clients, right? Communication, billing, invoicing, accounting, right? Keeping track of all the data and information, research. It's how you research all the years and years of case law, right? Technology facilitates that. So I think when I speak to people about tech, it's not always about like this off-the-shelf thing
like
from Silicon Valley, thing we've never heard of before, some drone-based system using AI. It doesn't have to be that. That is, yes, that's one part of technology. But I think technology, again, it's about simplifying life, making life better, making life a little bit more efficient. That's it. And if we understand that first, it's easier then to use it to scale up.
Wow, man, that's awesome. So is that what being tech adjacent?
That's it, man. That's actually it. Is like, technology, even as we're sitting here, is evolving, right? So it's impossible to keep up with technology, even for those of us who are in it. It's impossible. The stuff that just got announced this week, I was just like, it's hard to ever. You can't keep up with the pace that it moves. But you also can't afford to get left behind. So to be adjacent is to be next to. So that's all I say to people is like, be close by, be next to technology. So if you understand how simple it is and how it works, it's actually possible, right? It's just about using it daily.
Oh wow, man! Hey,
that's the
awesome.
book.
That's the book, right?
That's the book.
Oh, awesome, man! And you also wrote, I think, or contributed in another book as well.
Yeah, I did, man. And it was a book that we wrote down during lockdown. I think there was about 40 authors that contributed there. Just really to talk about how to build a business in this new normal, right?
Oh, wow.
And we turned that book out. I think we got it to print within 2 weeks.
Wow.
So it was also a bit of a disruption as well to the world of authoring. Yeah, man, impactful. And I would suggest people to read that book as well,
I think
man.
it's called the book every business
owner should read.
Business owner should read, right?
That's it.
Yeah, man. Check that book out. Where is it available?
It's available everywhere, man. Exclusive CNA online. It's
awesome,
everywhere.
man. Hey, guys, reading, and I know you say one of the things, key to a successful entrepreneur is reading books.
That's it, man. That's it, man. They say like you're a sum of the 5 people you spent the most time with. I try to spend the most time with some of the most amazing thought leaders in the world, because I might not be able to get a meeting with Bill Gates or Elon Musk, but I can read the content that he absorbs himself with every day.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
And that's pretty powerful. So I think that's why it's super important, man. It pushes you to another world beyond.
Awesome, and I think these days as well, there are apps like Audible, where you can actually listen to the book driving
while you're working out,
working out and doing all these things. So I mean, there's no excuse, man, because I mean that's technology right there.
That's it.
You can actually use it you're working out, you're also getting the information
Yeah.
that you need, man. Well, yeah, man. So, I mean, obviously, as we like just run down now,
Yeah.
just tell us about the speaking, right? I mean, you're a
Yeah.
speaker, right?
Yeah.
And I see some you speaking with organizations.
Yeah.
How does one get to that level, man?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's a long cycle, man. It wasn't necessarily intentional. I think I had developed a bit of a subject matter expertise being
Yes.
in this space for so many years, and it started with a little bit of lecturing, or hey, can you come and speak to my team? And then I saw that there was some traction there, and I specifically, as it relates to kind of tech. For me, there's not enough African stories in technology.
Okay.
So my book and in my content, every case study, every example is local. It's African. It's not Silicon Valley. It's not Tel Aviv. It's local. And so those are some of the stories that I tell, man. So the speaking that I do is really about how businesses can innovate, how they can use technology. And then I just like to toot our horn as Africans to say we're amazing. We've got some of the best technology in the world.
Yeah.
Wakanda exists, right? It literally does. So let's talk about it and let's share those stories. So that's kind of what I do as a speaker, and thankfully that's taken off. And I think for me, it's now become a little bit of a content funnel where we put out content, we've got a business, we do some speaking, and they all kind of work off each other. So my business
It's like
career
an
is supported. Exactly.
Mm.
It's supported by the speaking. The speaking leads to business opportunities. And then we put out good content, and then I get to connect with guys like yourself.
Awesome. Yeah, it's a privilege. It's a privilege. And I know you say one thing that, what, it's your business that validates, your speaking.
That's the thing, man.
Your content.
And I'm so glad you said that, because a lot of guys ask me, like, how can I become a speaker? And I'm like, well, you gotta be known for doing something well first.
Oh, wow.
I'm not a fan of motivational or speakers that just encourage, because motivation is easy, right? I can tell you to be motivated, and the sun will shine tomorrow, and you'll feel great. And then when it rains, your motivation goes away.
Wow.
But if you can be in the business of teaching people something, you'll be a speaker forever. So I think that's what I want people to do is, like, I ran a business for 10 years before I got on one stage, right?
Wow.
I developed that expertise. So if I get up and speak about entrepreneurship, I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You know what I
story,
mean?
man.
Just
True
like if
story.
you get on stage and speak about the law, you know what you're talking about. You put in those dues, you got the degree, you got the years of experience. Speaking is the same.
Yeah.
And I think it's a great responsibility, is because what I see when I speak is I see young people, old people taking notes and listening. There's this one woman invited me to come to her company, a business she's run for 25 years, and she's like, I heard you speak, and we decided to change up our entire business.
Wow.
And I'm like, what? You did? You did what? And I was like, what did I say? You know? But that's the thing, is that as soon as you get on stage, people respect you, and it comes with great responsibility to know what you're talking about. So if I was spouting nonsense, this woman for 25 years with a team of 45 people now decided to change her entire business because of what I said, right? So that comes with great responsibility. So I think I need people that want to speak and want to share content to know that, is that you can't just get up there and fake the funk. You got to have some expertise.
You have to have some expertise. It's not just about, as I say, just encouraging people and making people excited. But you need to, actually have some stuff to say. Yeah, awesome, man. So just lastly, man, what word of encouragement or advice would you give someone who might find themselves retrenched, right now, maybe taking a pay cut, or maybe, the industries they thought that they wanted to go in, but now they're seeing their parents being retrenched there. What sort of advice would you give those guys?
It's hard, man. It's definitely hard because it's happening, and I think it's going to continue to happen going into next year. I don't think the economic downturn is over, so I think people need to know that, firstly. But I think for me, it's trust the process. The fact that we get the privilege to get up every single day means something. And if I look back some of the darkest days I had as an entrepreneur in life, you didn't really see the light. But now looking back, if I rewind the last 20 years, it all makes sense. And each of those moments were necessary for the next stage of my growth. Even this year, man.
Yeah.
I mean, we had to close down one business, but it opened up the opportunity for another business to flourish, right? So I think, and yeah, man, I mean, the plans that I had in December 2019 were amazing, and they got shattered, and
Wow.
now we're back on the upturn again. So I think the reality is that it's always going to go up and down. Life is cyclical, business is cyclical, but we'll bounce back.
Awesome.
So
man.
trust the process, man.
Trust the process, man.
Trust
It's
the
never
process.
that bad.
Yeah, man.
At the end of
Sometimes
the
it
day.
is, but it will get better.
It will get better, right? The
Yeah.
sky's not falling, man.
Yeah.
As long as you're up, you're still in the game. So, man, Mushambi, thank you very much, man.
No,
Thank you
man,
very much for your
absolute
time,
pleasure.
man. I know you're busy. We don't
Yeah.
take this for granted, man. And I
No,
know,
man.
you know, the guys have benefited a lot.
Nah,
And
thank you.
you know, hopefully, would you know, tell you some success stories that have come out
Yeah,
of
man.
this this video
I'd
itself.
love to hear it. And thank you for the opportunity.
All right, guys.
Thank you for staying on me. And thank you to everybody tuning in, man.
Awesome, guys, man. I love you, man. God bless you, and we'll see you on the next video. Cheers, man.
Take care.